What's happening, everyone? My name is Alex and welcome back. So ECOVACS is back with two brand new robot vacuums. On my left here we have the ECOVACS DEEBOT T50 MAX PRO Omni, and on my right here we have the ECOVACS DEEBOT T50 PRO Omni. Out of the two devices, the Max Pro here is about $200 more expensive. Of course, in the video description you will also find some links so you can check out the T50 MAX Pro here and the T50 Pro as well. And also this video is sponsored by ECOVACS. So in today's video I'm basically gonna go over the differences between the T50 MAX Pro here and the T50 Pro. So basically I'm gonna tell you what's different in between these two robot vacuums and hopefully make it easier for you to choose the right vacuum for your needs. Okay, so first things first, both devices can vacuum and also mop. So if you have a combination of carpets and hard floors at home, both devices are gonna be able to keep those carpets clean and those hard floors clean as well. This is how the bottom of the T50 MAX Pro looks. And this is how the bottom of the T50 Pro looks. So at the bottom they do look quite similar. They both use the same mopping system, which is called the Osmo Turbo 2.0. So those mop brushes at the bottom of each device basically spin on your floor and also put pressure onto your floor. So if you have any stains on your floor, basically both devices are going to be able to clean those stains because we'll put pressure on to your floor. Now there is one difference for those mop pads. So our T50 MAX Pro here can lift those mop pads 18 millimeters, where our T50 Pro can only lift them 9 millimeters. So that is important if you have very thick carpets at home. If you have carpets that are very thick, the T50 MAX Pro here will be able to lift those mops higher, so it's not gonna touch those carpets at all. This one will not lift them as high, of course, but it really depends what kind of carpets you have. If you have really thick carpets, maybe the T50 MAX Pro is the better choice. Both devices also feature the edge mopping system, which the manufacturer calls TrueEdge 2.0. And that means that both devices can actually open one of these mop pads and move it close to the edge of the wall. So this is our T50 MAX Pro and this is our T50 Pro. So both devices can actually move that mop pad close to the edge of the wall, so you're not gonna have any space left uncleaned basically. Because with a lot of these robot vacuums, you typically get about this much that never gets cleaned. Well, that is not the case with these ones. So the mop pads, one of the mop pads can actually get really close to the edge of the wall. And it's the same system on both devices. Another difference between these two devices has to do with the mop washing and drying. So of course each device has a hands-free base station where it will go wash these mop pads and eventually dry them whenever the device is done a cleaning cycle. So the first thing that's different with the T50 MAX Pro here, the temperature of the water for washing the mops can be different depending how dirty those mops are. So that water temperature is going to be between 40 and 75 degrees Celsius, where with our T50 Pro here, the temperature is 75 degrees. For drying, the T50 MAX Pro here uses hotter air. So I believe that's 63 degrees Celsius versus 45 degrees Celsius for drying those mops. So for me personally, I do prefer that the air for drying is hotter from the T50 MAX Pro here. Moving on to vacuuming performance. Well, here things are quite different. So we're gonna start with the T50 Pro. So this one has a suction power of 15,000 PA. I mean, we did see that with other vacuums in the past. But the star of the show here is the T50 MAX Pro. So this has what the manufacturer calls BLAST. That means boosted large airflow suction technology. So basically this one has a 100 watt motor inside here, and it also has a super boost battery. So this has a 6400 milliamp hour capacity that has a 50% higher discharge current and 2.5 times longer lifespan, and of course a 50% lower heat generation. So basically this one will be able to suck everything from any carpet. This one has a lot of airflow. It's able to pick up anything that's deep in the carpet. So with a suction power of 18,500 PA. So an insane amount of suction for our T50 MAX Pro here. So whatever you have on the carpet, whatever is deep in the carpet will basically end up inside your robot vacuum. So if you live somewhere or you have a lot of carpets, the carpets are thicker, basically you need a lot of suction power to pick up all that dust and everything that may be stuck in those carpets. The T50 MAX Pro here will be the better choice for you. However, if you have normal carpets, this one is still able to do quite well for pretty much any surface and pick up a lot of stuff from the floor. But if you need a lot of suction power, look no further because the T50 MAX Pro here is here to help you. As for the brushes at the bottom of each vacuum, the brushes are also designed so they don't catch hair on them. So you have a lot of hair at home, long hair. Basically, these are designed so hair doesn't get stuck on them and basically hair ends up inside the robot vacuum, not on those brushes. So these brushes are similar and they will keep the hair away from themselves. I'm not sure if I mentioned this already, this side brush can also move out of the vacuum. So basically when the vacuum goes into a corner, it's able to reach right at the end of that corner. So in the edge there with this brush that kind of comes out, and both vacuums have a similar system for that brush. So this can move in and out so it can reach those corners as well. And we are moving on to another difference between these two robot vacuums, and that is the height of the vacuums. So as you can see here, the T50 MAX Pro here is higher, has a higher profile than our T50 Pro here. So this one is 98 millimeters in height, where this one is 81 millimeters in height. I believe that Roborock has a similar slim vacuum, but that one is about $800 more expensive than this one. So if you need a robot vacuum that can easily go under your furniture, because, well, let's be real, with a lot of robot vacuums, they cannot get under your furniture because they're too thick. Many of them have that LiDAR navigation at the top, makes them even thicker. So if you need a robot vacuum that can easily go under your bed, for example, under your couch, and a lot of places where vacuums cannot go, well, this one is definitely for you because this one is slim enough that it can actually go under a lot of furniture. As for obstacle avoidance and home mapping, both devices do equally good. And even though you cannot see the LiDAR navigation system at the top like most other robot vacuums available on the market, both devices actually do have LiDAR navigation systems, and they're not gonna be crashing into anything throughout your house. They're not gonna run over cables, they're not gonna run over small toys, and they always know exactly where they are in your house, so they know exactly where they have to go. So no spots will be missed in your house whenever these go on a cleaning cycle. And of course, whenever these are done a cleaning cycle, they will go back to their home stations and wash those mops if they just came back from washing your floors. And of course, they will also empty themselves in that all-in-one hands-free station. So yourself, you don't actually have to do anything because these vacuums do everything by themselves. They wash their mop pads by themselves, they dry the mop pads by themselves, they empty the dust bins inside by themselves. So everything is done by the vacuums themselves. You don't actually need to do anything yourself. So I feel that the choice is pretty easy. If you have a lot of carpets at home, and mostly thick carpets at home, I feel that the T50 MAX Pro here will be the better choice for you. First of all, because those mop pads can lift higher than they can lift on this one. Not to mention that we have an insane amount of suction power from this device. So if you have thick carpets and a lot of dust, a lot of stuff that's in those carpets, I feel that this is the better choice for you, the T50 MAX Pro. But if you don't have those thick carpets, you just have a couple of carpets here and there, I feel that this one will do equally good in that environment as well. Well, hopefully this video was useful. As always, there will be some links in the video's description so you can check each one of these robots out. Thanks ECOVACS for sponsoring this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.